Hello, everybody. So let me go to the chat right quick because I never do that. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Mobland, how are you, darling? You need to come up sometime, Mobland. I'm going to drop the link shortly, and I hope you join. Dominic, how are you? Michael, Victoria, Real Deal, how are you, darling? Carol, how are you? Anyway, let's get on with it, right? So this week would have been the week's events. Well, let's start with this, shall we? Let's talk about this first. Hold on 1 second. What did I do with it? Oh my goodness, hang on. Doesn't look like I added it. Hold on. Okay, so hang on 1 minute. I kind of messed this up, of course. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, hold up 1 minute, people. So we're gonna start with this because all right. Let me go into my thing. I thought I had this already. I guess I didn't. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's hope that works. All right, let's go. All right, hold on 1 minute. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yeah, let's start with this because where did I sent it to myself? I know that I did. Okay, there I did. All right. There we go. All right. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. And let me pull this up now. Hopefully, let's pull it up. Okay, all files. All right, where is it? Oh, okay. 1 minute. Sorry, people. I thought I had done this. I guess I didn't. Oh, holy crap. Now it's saying that file must be one of the following types, whatever. Okay, so let me pull it up on my phone. That's probably the best way to do it. So I should have done this in the first place, really. So let's see. Okay. All right. Now then, let's talk about this particular picture. Okay. Now, yeah, there we go. Okay. Now you will see that. So when I saw this, I think anyone that thinks that this is Harambe is crazy. Yeah, sure, it looks like him. Does kind of look like him. Hang on, it's a little dark here. Okay, so it does look like him. But come on, it's not him. When you really look at it, it's not him. Secondly, how the hell could he ever be a cop with his record? I mean, there's just no freaking way. Not only that, I'm going to share this with you right quick. I saw this Grumpy Italian actually put it up. So let me share this with you. Hang on. Let's go here. Let me share this with you. Okay, share. And then I have to mute myself. Okay, so there you have another one that looks like him too, but he's in a different cop uniform. So, you know, my thing is, no way. Anyone that thinks so, no, no, hang on, wait a minute. Somebody's coming up here. I'm just getting rid of that. Okay, so anyone that thinks that is crazy. There's no way in hell that man could be a cop ever, ever. With the record he has, hell no. You know, and then I heard it was kind of like a Serpico situation. You know, he's in here pretending to be like Serpico. No, no, no. Hell no. Anyway, I didn't even think it was him for a second. Not 1 second. Let me go back to the chat. Anyway, so hi, Bang Donkey. Bang Donkey. Oh, God. These names. Anyway, so that's that. That's what happened this week. People were like, oh, you know, I told you, I called it. I called it. No, no, there's no way in hell. Anyway, so I made a couple of notes. So let's get to Chatgate, Panelgate, Chris Chalk. Now, here's the thing about, you know, the whole thing. For those of you that don't know what happened, basically he was on Becky's show, and you know, she was happy, let's say, and Angel was brought up, which is a sore point for her. Lee was brought up. Well, Angel was put up first, so that's what set her off. And then, you know, it goes to Lee, it goes to me, it goes to everybody, you know, because Lee had made an off-color joke, for those of you that, you know, don't know. Anyway, so my thing with Chris Chalk was, why are you up there facilitating it? You know, either way. Anyway, what happened is, so I played a clip from on my last video because he was saying that he didn't bring it up, she did. And so what happened is, actually NB checked into it. She looked at it again and she said it was correct. You know, the timeline, Chris Chalk is obsessed with the timeline of it, that he didn't bring it up, she did, da 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 da. You know, and it was about, you know, to him it's more about the timeline. I don't think it's really about the timeline. What I think it's about is, you know, okay, he was on Becky's show, that, you know, it wasn't that he did it on purpose. I didn't think he did. You know, I think he was just talking in general, and Angel's name came up, and then that set her off onto, you know, her usual thing. Now, and that's what I think about it. It isn't really a great big deal, but he's made it into a great big deal. And let me tell you why. You know, NB and Joey had a chat. And by the way, thank you, Joey. Joey had my back in that. Thank you. Because, you know, Chris Chalk is trying to make it about timelines. It's not about timelines, Chris Chalk. What it's really about is, all right, Becky O, all right, that could have been a mistake. You were drunk, you said, and, you know, you weren't really thinking, and whatever. You know, that's all good and fine and dandy. My irritation with it wasn't about me, what she had to say about me. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself. I just didn't like what she was saying about a friend of mine, because it just doesn't, it's not that she goes on YouTube, but she has gone at him on the phone, you know, and he doesn't need all that. You know what I mean? He really doesn't. So that's why I got irritated with it. It wasn't really about me. But anyway, You know, the bottom line to it, Chris, is this. You've been in Lefty's chat when he's been talking mad shit on everybody. When you were on Becky's show and she was going off about Angel, you didn't get off. You sat there and continued to listen to it when you could have said, well, you know, we're not either going to talk about that, or you could have jumped off. You didn't. You sat there and let that go on. You've been in many chats. You were, I forget which chat it was, but you were there when they were dragging Joey, and you're supposed to be his good friend. You got a wrench in there. Personally, you don't deserve that because you sat through that. You didn't defend him. You didn't say shit. You just was giggling along with everybody else. That's what it's about. That's what people, MRE. You've been in chats where they're slagging him off, and you say nothing. You know, you're in there like it's not happening. That's what it's about. It's not about timelines and this, that, and the third. It's about, you know, get your priorities straight. You're either a friend or you're a foe. You can't be friend to everyone. You're in everybody's chat while they're talking mad shit on people that you're supposedly friendly with, and you don't defend them. You don't do anything. You don't get off. You know, you sit there and carry on. And then, you know, isn't it? And that's what I was trying to say the other day. It's not so much about being on Becky's chat or not, you know, or on her panel or not. It's about, you know, what is it you're doing here exactly? That's what it's about. That's why people are mad at you. I personally, I don't have a bone in it. That's for you to, you know, discuss with your friends. But ultimately, that's what the problem is. You know, you're all over in everybody's chat while they're talking shit about your friends, and you're still sitting there. So you can deflect it and switch it over to, oh, you know, Josie's lying on me, Josie's this, Josie's that. No, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about having some integrity. You know, if they're talking about someone that I grew up with that is a good friend of mine, and I'm on there and somebody's talking crap about them, I'm going to have something to say, trust and believe. And you didn't. So that's what it's about. You know, I don't really care about the Becky stuff. I really don't. My only concern with that was I didn't want to go in after a friend of mine. And that's it. You know, other than that. But, you know, your main thing is to make sure you're all right with Angel. Make sure I'm all right with Angel. You know, when you sat there listening to that crap that was being said, it makes no sense to me. You know, so and NB kept saying, well, you know, just apologize. You don't owe me an apology. I don't need an apology from you. You know, there's no reason for you to apologize to me at all. But, you know, you had to make sure you were all right with Angel, didn't you? You know, I can't stand that type of motherfucker. I really can't. You know, it just aggravates me. You know, because all the time while she's talking crap about Angel, you sat there. And then what you did was switched it on to Lee, who's also supposed to be your friend, by the way. But you threw him way under the bus. You put him under the bus and rolled back on him is what you did with him. So that's where I am with it. You know, whatever, you do you. You know, you don't owe me any type of apology. And like I said, if I got the timeline wrong, I would absolutely correct that. But I didn't have time. NB looked, she said it was correct. So I'm going with what she said right now. Okay, so that's it as far as the Chris Trock situation. Now, so I was watching something and I hear Tony Pizza. They would, you know, he was talking about me. I mean, basically, he was saying she's part of Black Lives Matter. She's this and that and the third. No, wrong. I'm not affiliated with any organization, not the Black Panthers, Black Lives Matter, any of that stuff. I'm not affiliated with it, any of it. I don't have the time for it or whatever. But what I want to say is this, you know, a lot of people now, do I believe in what Black Lives Matter is about? 100%. And I'll tell you why I believe in what they're saying. Now, a lot of people, especially white people, they take it, they see Black Lives Matter and they say, all lives matter. What do you mean Black Lives Matter? It's all lives matter. 100%. All of our lives matter. I believe that also. Okay. Now, here's the thing with Black Lives Matter and why it's called Black Lives Matter. And some of you don't get it. You immediately see Black Lives Matter. Oh, they just saying, you know, Black Lives Matter, our life don't matter, Chinese life don't matter, white lives don't. That's not what Black Lives Matter is about. What it's about is there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands actually, if you look at the whole country, of Black young men being killed by the police for no reason. Or not for no reason. Let me take that back. It might not be for no reason. Maybe they, oh God, look at my freaking head. It may be that, all right, let's say they're doing something, you know, wrong. Or, you know, whatever it is. They can be sitting in their car and they reach for the glove box, you know, and the policeman said, well, I thought he was going for a gun. And boom, 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 the guy's dead. And he was reaching for his wallet or he's reaching for something else. You know, that's what Black Lives Matter is about. It's about our young men are being killed daily by the police for no real reason. You know, I actually saw a very disturbing video the other day. Now, the guy, true enough, he had a knife, but he didn't have any legs. And I think he had stabbed someone, so I get it, why they would go after this guy. And he's kind of running on his stumps, and he's got the knife. They shot him like, I don't know how many times. They didn't need to shoot him. He clearly had mental issues. He could have been surrounded. He could have been pepper sprayed. There are many times that I've seen our Black young men die when you could have used pepper spray, or you could have used, you know, I'm not saying they didn't have a reason to stop them or whatever. And there's been times where they really haven't had a reason to stop them. And that's what Black Lives Matter is about. It's not about that no lives matter. It's about, you know, more and more until attention, the spotlight was put on it, that all these Black young men are dying unnecessarily at the hands of the police. That's what it's about. Now, am I a member of them? No. But I understand what they're about. Absolutely. And that's it. So, pizza, you know, just get it right. Get it right. Johnny Mac, you have a Black son. He can be walking around in Cincinnati and be pulled over or stopped for something, you know, and do you want to see him shot dead because he went to reach to get his wallet, or he went to bend down to do something, or he had his cell phone in his hand and they thought it was a gun? You know, that's what Black Lives Matter is talking about. They're not talking about no lives matter. They're just talking about our Black young men that are being taken down in the streets by the cops for no reason, or for not necessarily no reason. There are times when, yeah, it's justified, but those justifications are few and far between. There are other methods that they could have used in those circumstances, and that's just what it is. Okay, now moving on. So I just want to get that straight. I'm not part of any organization. I'm not out there with the pickets or whatever. But do I understand what they're about? Yes, I do. Anyway, so let me look, because I had to make a few notes. So Let's see. Okay. So now I'm going to get to, well, let me look at the chat a little bit. Sorry, people. I'm way behind. Okay, so Laurie says, integrity seems to be lost on YouTube. I said a long time ago, all one has to do is watch 15 minutes of anyone chat and you will see. Yeah. Oh my God, Laurie, it's right. Okay, so Nikki Morello said it's not Josie's fault. She's from the UK. Being a conservative over there is being a liberal, basically. No, I wouldn't say that, Nikki. I think the conservatives over there are your Republicans here, no? I think. Okay, listen, I fall somewhere in the middle. Some of it I agree with on one side, and other things I agree with on the other side. I'm not really politically motivated. I'm not going to sit here and talk politics. I don't, whatever it is, that's just how I think. So, hello, Adama, how are you, my darling? So, I'll put up, hey, Real Deal. Hey, Tommy, how are you? I hope you're feeling better. So Nikki says Black lives do matter for sure, but the movement it is about that though, Nikki. That's what it was supposed. Well, let me take that back. Okay. Originally, that's what Black Lives Matter was about. It was about our young Black men being taken down in the streets by the police. That was it. Because, it happened over and over. There are thousands of cases, so many to mention. Okay. That's what it was originally about. Since then, I guess they've been embezzling money. All kinds of crap's been going on. So I don't know what it's about now, but I know originally that's what it was about. I really haven't kept up on it, to tell you the truth. So I don't know, but I know I've seen now where, didn't they buy a mansion or something, and they're accusing some woman of embezzling, something like that. So, I don't know. But originally, that's what Black Lives Matter was about. It wasn't about no lives matter. White people's lives don't matter. Chinese people's lives don't matter. They don't care about nobody but black. That's not what it was about. Now it's turned into something completely different. They got a lot of money and embezzled it, apparently. Who the hell knows? I really don't keep up with it, so I don't know for sure. Hey, Chicky, we're for this kid who got killed a couple of months ago. I don't know. Maybe you can enlighten me on that one, Chicky. I really don't know. Hi, Maureen. So, are you familiar with Roland Fryer? He's the second youngest professor of all time at Harvard and the youngest African American professor of all time. He did a study on this very topic. No, actually, Nikki, I'm not familiar with him, but I will look. What was the study and what was the outcome of it? I don't know, but okay, Adam. Oh, anyway, so okay, keeping it real. Incorrect, Josie. Statistics show there are more unarmed white males killed. Black lives fraudulent movement does nothing for Black lives without state. It's just an opinion. No, and you may well be right. Keeping it real, you may well be right. What I understood about Black Lives Matter was, their purpose in the beginning was to draw attention to how many of our Black young males were being killed by the police. They're not saying it doesn't happen with white males. It does. I've seen it. Yeah, it's probably equal or you know, not far off from what I've seen when I actually looked at it. So I'm not saying you're wrong there at all. You're probably right. But, you know, I don't keep up with them. I'm not a member. You know, I was accused of being a member of Black Lives Matter, and I'm not. I'm not a member of any organization whatsoever. Okay. You know, and so there you go. So Nikki says, I recommend everybody read Professor Fry's study titled An Empirical Analysis of Racial Differences in Police Use of Force. The conclusion is it's a mathematic fact they shoot all races, at the same rate. Oh, yeah, we'll take a look at that, you know. But, you know, that was the consensus. That's what people were saying. You know, I didn't delve into it that tough. I was just seeing case after case after case where someone was reaching for their phone or somebody, you know, whatever it was. And, you know, it seemed to be happening a lot, you know. And so that's it. You may well be right. Cletus, I was tasered 3 times. Oh, God, really, Cletus? J.A. It's like every other meme started. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. As far as I know, that's how it started. I don't know what they're doing now. I did see that people thought that, you know, one particular woman was embezzling money or something. I don't know the whole ins and outs of it. Anyway, so okay. But also, hands up, don't shoot was another lie. Michael Brown went in a bodega, robbed it for Dutches, then attacked the cop that responded and got shot, and they acted like it was police brutality. Yeah, I think I kind of remember that one. That was the big guy, was it? And he went in there and did something. I'm not really, look, I'm not going to really go into it. I'm not that familiar on it, so I'm not going to talk about what I don't know. But I do remember seeing something where, yeah, he may have gone at the cops, but at some point he put his hands up or something. I don't know. I'm not going to talk on it, to be honest, Nikki. I'm not really that familiar with that. I remember the case, and I remember seeing bits of it, but, you know, I'm not really an authority on it, so I'm not going to speak on that, you know, because I'll probably get it wrong. Adam says, happened to me a few times. I'm white, but black people are targeted via police profiling, and yeah, and originally that's what I thought Black Lives Matter was about, the profiling, the, you know, that type of thing. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about that. You know, I just mentioned it because Tony Pizza had said that, yeah, Tony, thank you, Cletus. Yeah, we need to get back on topic. You know, Tony Pizza had said I was a member of Black Lives Matter, and I'm absolutely not a member of anything. I have my thoughts on certain things, but, you know, that's about it. Anyway, so let's see what else happened this week. If anyone remembers something that I've missed here, then let me know. Let me look. I've got to put my glasses on because I can't see a bloody thing. Okay. Now then, yeah, I was going to say anyway, to end the Black Lives Matter thing, you know, if anything that I would back would be the knives and the machete things in England right now, in London especially. There have been so many people killed, you know, they've been stabbed, they've been knifed. I mean, it's just been a nightmare. So I would, you know, there is a thing, and I would be interested in that, and mainly because my brother was murdered on the streets of London. He was stabbed to death. It's going on 3 years now, over nothing really. people were never brought to justice. And since then, there have been, I don't know, countless murders with people, knives, machetes, that type of stuff. So anyway, moving on. So let me get to Dominic Cicale. Now, what happened is I got a clip of this guy rapping, right? And I listened to it and I answered it. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, what is this? So they said, oh, this is a former captain, now a rapper or something. So I listened to it again. You know, I listened to the actual words that he was saying. And to be fair to him, the way he had written it actually was good. You know, well, I thought so. It all rhymed and it all kind of, you know, fell together. I think the beat behind was pretty good, I thought. But I think maybe he needs to practice more on the delivery side of it. Or you know, some people write stuff for other people, maybe write it and have somebody do it. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't think that was so bad. But what I did think was, firstly, how old is this guy? And he was a captain. It was a little strange to me, to be honest. But anyway, so then I'm told, you know, and I guess, I don't know, someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I was sent that clip and then I went and looked on YouTube and there was another clip where it was another rap and I thought I saw pictures of Lee Cole in that rap. So I thought, is he going after Lee Cole now? And I thought, why would he be going after Lee Cole? What, you know, why? But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mixing it up here. But that's what it looked like. And I thought, oh, maybe it's going after Lee Cole. Anyway, so what I did, I went to his channel and had a look. And, you know, he doesn't have many videos up. So I guess he's just kind of starting or whatever. So my first thing I have to say to you, Dominic Cicale, is this, okay? And you can take it or not, but this is my advice to you. Now, I see you did an interview with Jeff Nadu. Now, I don't have anything against Jeff Nadu, but he is apparently part of the Rat Squad. Now, the Rat Squad consists of a bunch of degenerates that started off hating rats. Now they love rats. You know, I'm using the term rats. I don't really like the term rats, to tell the truth. You know, I prefer informants, but, you know, it is what it is. So I'm using rats, but, you know, anyway, so that's how it started. Then it became something else entirely. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me see who this is. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I would be. Hang on, wait 1 second. So, all right. So, hang on. Just give me 1 second, people. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, you know, here's my advice for you, Dominic. Number one, stay away from the Rat Squad, because they are like the kiss of death to any channel. Ask Jimmy Calandra, ask Anthony Aralotta, ask Crying Billy Catolo, ask, there's a slew. What happens is they start with Nadu, and what's going to happen is Piggy's going to call Nadu, do you think you can get him on my channel? When basically what their channels are about are calling women filthy, disgusting names, talking about gang banging people's kids, putting up family members, doxing their names and addresses, calling dog whistles to go after women. Now, as a captain, prior captain in the mafia, you know, I don't know what the rules were at all, but I don't think they're it. And I'm telling you, you ask all those people that have been on those shows, where are their channels now? Nowhere. I nearly died the other day when I saw Jimmy Calandra on there backing, talking about gang banging a teenager, one of the other creators' teenage daughters, talking about they would take turns. I mean, really? Okay, hold on 1 second. Hey, Lee, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Your show is very, very interesting today.
Oh, well, thank you, Big Daddy. So, yeah, no, I want to talk to you a little bit about this guy, because
yeah, those rap songs were going at me real hard, especially the first one.
Oh, they were? Okay, because
Yeah.
I was unsure if he was
so,
going after you.
So I jumped in his chat. And I wrote, I wonder who this is about. And then he writes back to me. He writes, well, I don't really mean nothing by it. And then the following day, when I put up the show on him, he did another one. And that time he meant something by it. So once again, I go in, and then once again he says to me, I don't mean nothing by it. But, you know,
yeah,
he sounds pretty hard in them.
Okay, because I was a little confused as to if he was. Am I? Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can. Whoops. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Okay. No, it sounded like there was an echo. Yeah, I was a little bit confused whether he was going after you. And then when I realized that he was, here's the thing, you know, they start with Nadu, they end up over on Piggy's, and then they end up nowhere.
Exactly.
And so that's what I thought. I thought Nadu's told him, oh, you know, whatever. And so, you know, now don't make that mistake, Mr. Cicale. Do not make that mistake.
Well, Nadu is the one that built him up. Nadu brought him on the show. He shouted them out. So right away he gave him a bunch of people. And then on top of that, the main reason that I did a show on him, I really didn't know much about the guy. And then I did a lot of research on him and seen that this guy had all sorts of murders behind him, some serious stuff. And he put a good man in prison. Well, not a good man, a gangster that wouldn't rat on his friends. Let me rephrase that, with Vinnie Gorgeous. And plus he murdered somebody, shot him execution style in a motel.
Well, in a second, I've got someone coming on that's going to be talking about Vinnie Brasciano, Vinnie Gorgeous, because what I see, here's what happened. When I got that clip, I thought, is he going after Lee or is he not? Then I saw something else and I thought, yeah, he is. So then I went and looked at his channel. So I listened to a couple of his shows, and in one of those shows, he was saying that, you know, he's not making excuses for ratting. He even called himself a rat, right? So I thought, oh, this is a bit different from some of the others. The only other one that I've seen even be a little bit remorseful is Mikey Scars, right? So I thought I'll listen some more. And so he said, I'm not making excuses. There are no excuses, Then he goes on to say that Vinnie Gorgeous and Joe Massino was in detention, and that Joe was wired up. Yes, and that Vinnie, prior to this, had said to him verbatim, if we do a bit of work together, whatever it is, especially something like murder, if someone asks you later anything about it, you say you don't know what you're talking about. What are you, crazy? Da da da. He said what happened is when Joe asked him, somebody was murdered, and he asked Vinnie Gorgeous, hey, what happened to this kid who did that? That Vinnie Gorgeous said, Dominic's taking care of it. And he also mentioned another time that Vinnie Gorgeous had brought him up. So my thought at that time was, okay, if Vinnie Gorgeous is that intelligent, which I think he is, you know, obviously because he had said that in the first place. So why did Vinnie Gorgeous, here's the question. Do you think Vinnie Gorgeous knew Joe was wired up and he was ranting?
No. I can tell you exactly what happened there.
Okay.
So
that's what
made Joe Messina, he met with Joe Messina on a few occasions. Joe Messina kept pushing him, trying to get information out of him, and he kept giving him codes not to put the information out. But you have to remember, at that time, Joe Messina was his boss.
Okay.
So if your boss asks you to do something, you're going to answer it. But so what happened the first time, the first thing they were discussing, the judge threw out. They didn't allow it. The second thing was on the murder. But that they could have fought that and had that thrown out. But the reason they couldn't, because Dominic Cicale came in and confirmed it. So Dominic can say whatever he wants. It was Dominic's testimony that put Vinnie away. Messino's was very serious, but they could have fought that in court because it was a form of entrapment. They kept egging him on to get something out of him. It's not like he didn't sang to Messino right away. Messino had to push him. And there was two parts of that tape that was talked about with Vinnie Gorgeous. And the first part, the judge wouldn't allow in to court because the judge said, this sounds like entrapment. But with the second one, once Dominic came in and confirmed it, that was it. He was done. He was going to, it was over. He couldn't even fight it. He couldn't even get a new trial on it. Nothing.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, it sounded to me like he was saying there's no excuses. I did what I did, but then there was an excuse.
He's full of excuses.
And you had to kind of decide for it. That's what I got from that. Hey, Chicky.
Hey, what's up? Hi, Lee. How are you?
Okay, now you knew Vinnie Gorgeous in prison, correct?
Well, I was with him for a couple months, but I didn't know him like from the street.
No,
I met him. I met him at MCC Manhattan in 2006.
Yeah,
and I had told you privately, and I agree with Lee 100%. That listen, Vinnie didn't get to be where Vinnie was from. He was very, very sharp from what I picked up on. And like I said, it was only a couple months, but Vinnie was a very, very sharp, smart guy. And like Lee said, and I agree with him 100%. When you're and I told you this earlier, if you remember this morning, when you're talking to your boss, I mean, like I gave the analogy of you talking to your boss wherever you work. When your boss asks you something, you're talking to your boss, especially in the street stuff. You're going to talk to your boss the way you would, obviously you're not thinking he never thought Joe Messina was going to be wired. Are you kidding?
Nobody would ever think that Joe Messina was ever going to be
100%.
Right. But don't you think that was like thrown out there? You know what I mean? Like that's immediately what I thought. I thought, well, you can look at it two ways. Did Vinnie know that or suspect he was wired and he was ratting without ratting? Or
no,
he just really not know?
Absolutely never knew. In my opinion, maybe I don't know much, but 100%.
Vinnie was trying to give him code words.
Right.
That's what they do. But it got to the point where Joe pushed him so hard that he had to. It was like he wasn't giving the boss an answer at some point.
Exactly.
And the boss was getting pissed. Answer me already. And then he answered, and that's why they threw the first part of the tapes out, because even the judge said this was entrapment. It was a murder part. And then
I want to ask something else, Lee, that was brought up. I'm going to ask the question, and you and Chicky can discuss it while I run to the bathroom. So the question is, he was saying that when he was in, the rat detention part, that people would come in there to try and get information out of him. And so when they told him they were going to rip up his agreement, it was because they said that he had tried to say that Vinnie Gorgeous had put a hit on him. Now, his explanation of that was that wasn't him.
But here's what happened, though.
Okay.
It turned out that that Dominic was setting it up. It didn't really happen. And so when the prison investigated it, they realized that Dominic was trying to make it look like Vinnie was trying to kill him. And it turned out it was all a lie. And so they had all these things that proved it was a lie, and the feds shut it down. All the documents are out now proving that Dominic was lying about Vinnie trying to get a hit on him. It never happened. Dominic was inventing the story, and he was trying to get right. And they caught him on it. You know, as a matter of fact, Justice Tech Pro just put out all the documentations on what happened there. It's right there. It shows you, and also Cane Shade. They put all the documents out where it shows you that it was all a lie. Vinnie wasn't trying to kill him, and the feds never would charge him on it, or the feds covered it up. They literally had somebody else basically came back and said, "Look, I need to know whether he did this or not." And they went for the Freedom of Information Act, and they found out it was hidden. The feds hid it. And then when it came out, Dominic lied. Once again, Dominic lied.
Hey, Lee, can you hear me?
Yes.
Lee, did you pick up on, and it's a very subtle thing, but did you pick up, besides all the lying he does, it was either I think it was his first show, his first or second show. He said that when he became an informant, they moved him from MCC Manhattan to some county jail upstate New York. And he told his, big story on how he became a gladiator and beat everybody up or whatever that story was. But did you see where he messed up? And he said when he got moved up to that county jail, they put him under a completely different name, okay, an assumed name because he was an informant. But when he beat up that kid, this rat hunter kid that he says he beat up and broke his nose and all this crazy story, he said the guards came up to him and said, calm down, Dominic, and they were calling his name. Well, you just said 15 minutes earlier that they put you under assumed name. So did they know your name was Dominic, or was it an assumed name? You know what I mean? So I mean, just like,
oh, I missed that.
Yeah, go back and you can hear it. He said the guards were saying, Dominic, calm down. Well, you just said 10 minutes prior that they put you under a fake name. You had a completely fake name. So, I mean, it's a small thing, but it just goes to show you.
Just so people know, after I did my show, somebody very close to Vinnie, and I can't say who, got in touch with me. And right here, I have so much stuff on Dominic that it's incredible. Stuff that ain't even out here, and stuff that Dominic has done that he doesn't talk about. Right. And I don't have to say who it was. I'm guessing that you have some kind of idea, Chicky, who it was.
Yeah, I know exactly who it was. And
someone very, very close.
Yep.
That would know everything about what was going on.
Yep.
This is a guy that tried to extort the family of Vinnie's children.
Yep.
This is a guy that stole $200,000 from his mother, and the house went into foreclosure. It goes on and on. This is a guy that right before he went into prison, for his first stint, ripped off his partner's wife for $100,000. It goes on and on and on. This guy was real bad news. And when he came onto the street, everybody on the street said he was a rat. But Vinnie, this is where Vinnie Basciano messed up. He didn't listen. Because Bruno Indelicato, how do you say his last name again?
Indelicato
is the one that vouched for him. And Bruno was a big time gangster. He's the real deal, and he vouched for him. So Vinnie said, if Bruno's vouching for him, he must be okay.
But you know where Bruno knew him from, right?
From prison.
Right, exactly.
We're in prison together.
Yep.
Yes, but the fact of the matter that, and I talked about this yesterday. He did a murder down in, and it was really covered up, but it was done down in Florida. He did 17 months on the murder. 17 months. They broke it down to manslaughter, and there's other things too that people don't know. It's the more I hear about this guy, it's like, wow. I mean.
But Lee, let me just say, I'm not a content creator. I don't know how to do what you guys do, everything. But if I had a little message to this Dominic Cicale guy, and let's face it. I don't know about now or maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, he could be like Mikey Scars and he could have a big show. But if I had to give him 2 suggestions and maybe I don't know, but first of all, completely stop rapping. Please. He's making a fool of himself. Don't rap. Take down all your rapping stuff.
Hey, wait a minute, Chickie. I sound you're a little jealous here because I officially have a rap song.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the comeback, Lee.
Yes, I feel like Tupac came out of hiding.
Yeah. Okay.
And did a video on me. He called me Texas. Texas was a Yankee cap and coleslaw.
Lee, are you going to do a video? You got to do a comeback now.
Oh, someone was suggesting that I come back and rap. No, you ain't getting me rapping. Maybe I'll have Chickie do it for me.
No, hey, the last 2.5 months I made enough of my fool self on YouTube. I'm done. Last couple of months I had enough.
Yeah. No, but BK Showling can help with that.
Let me just tell you though, when I met Vinnie, okay, and people know this, it's not like a secret, but when I had met Vinnie, I didn't know Vinnie was Vinnie. I didn't know him from a hole in the wall, but we got along good. Like I said, a couple of days went by. He came up to me, very what's that word? Casmer, whatever that word is.
Charismatic.
Yeah, very, very big smile all the time. And I don't know how he pulled it off, but he always had a tan. His hair was perfect. I'm like, oh my God, if anybody can do time, I never seen a guy do time like this.
With a smile on his face.
Listen to me. You see him there's pictures on the internet of him in the yard of a prison. I think it might be Coleman because he's in Coleman too in Florida. It might be Coleman. He's in like a dog cage because they don't let him. Well, they didn't at the time. Now he can, but he couldn't go out in the yard with the other people. And he's in a cage and he's got a tank top on and he's got a smile like you would think he's in the Bahamas if you didn't know any better. Wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, what is your, because from what Dominic Cicale was saying, he was saying it in a roundabout way, I guess to make people come to their own conclusion.
Right.
He wasn't giving excuses, but he really was. That's what I got from that.
Without a doubt.
But, what's your overall impression of Vinnie Brasciano? From whenever I've spoken to you, you've said what a great guy he was.
Listen, he was a month and a half, a little less than 2 months I was with him, and I'll tell you the truth, he was a stone gentleman, smiling, funny. We would be at night rec, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I would be sitting next to him up in a unit, and they'd be playing. I don't play cards, but they were playing pinochle. And this guy, Lenny Colati, who was, I believe that's how you say his last name. He was a captain or acting captain. He was Alex Rudai, the Albanian guy from the corporation that was in the Bronx. Also, the Albanian guys were serious.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That was their part of the corporation. They were going to take over the Gambino.
Well, at one point, according to news outlets, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I was heard and if you go on YouTube, you could see they were at one time. They were basically as strong where they could have been a 6 family. That's how strong the Albanians in the Bronx were at back 2002, 1, 3.
Wasn't there a story where they went to that restaurant?
Rails. Yeah, they went to Rails and they wanted. Yeah, that's a true story. And they like 20 of them outside. Table. Yeah, that's a true story.
Did they ever get the Gambino table that night?
I think according to Alex, told me like he never had to shop because like a week later they all got indicted and picked up.
Okay.
But Alex was another one, and I swear to you, Alex and Vinnie, it would be me, Vinnie next to me, Alex across from me, and this guy Lenny Colati was next to Alex, and he was in Alex's he was one of Alex's guys. And there was Nicky Nails, they were all there, like 20 Albanians. And they'd be playing cards and they're eating honey bunnies and made some kind of half-assed coffee. And I'd make them laugh and we were joking. And Alex and Vinnie said to each other, because, I didn't know it then, but now I'm starting to learn. But I guess when you have beefs on the street, when you go to jail, it kind of goes out the window. You're all together fighting a case. And that goes out the window, who you're mad at. And Alex and Vinnie were joking, laughing. and they said right in front of me, as God is my judge, they said, on the street, we would have been looking to hurt each other. And look, we're laughing, eating honey bunnies in here. And they all started laughing. But that goes to show you the mentality. And then I'll tell you how stand-up Vinnie was. My lawyer, Ian Hagan, was a wonderful kid, really good guy. He's from, my area. He went to law school in, I think, Stanford, somewhere in Connecticut. And he worked as a guy who would do like the paperwork and read into the cases for this big time law firm. And the law firm, this is all public knowledge. The law firm that he worked for was the law firm defending Bruno Delicato, Mikey the Nose Mancuso, and Vinnie Basciano. They had a big case back in the mid 2000s or whatever. And so Vinnie, they would bring Vinnie by himself. They wouldn't let Vinnie around anybody else. And so after court one day, they put Vinnie in the van and they're putting the other guys in another van. And my lawyer, Dan Hagan, he'll tell you the story sometime. It's unbelievable. He's standing outside the court with all the lawyers, and the van that Vinnie's in pulls out of the whatever court. I think it was Brooklyn court, or I don't know, maybe it was Southern District, Manhattan. But the thing pulls out of the thing to go back to wherever they're being housed. And Vinnie, they got them gun ports that are in the van, them little holes. My lawyer said he died laughing. The car's coming, the van's coming out, and you see Vinnie's lips inside the porthole screaming, "Nobody cop out! Nobody cop out!" He's screaming. So he had the mindset. I mean, he was a real guy. He was a real guy. He said, "Nobody cop out." That's what he screamed out the porthole, and everybody started laughing, because that's the only way you could get him a message. Yeah. And he was I'll tell you, a month and a half, like I said, a little under 2 months.
They were having a co-defendant meeting. Vinnie Basciano was in it, and Dominic was in it with him.
Okay.
During that meeting, Dominic started acting really weird, and then basically what happened is Vinnie looked at him, and Vinnie had the feeling at that point he was going to flip, and he said to him, and I know this for a fact because I got this from somebody close to him. He said to him, "So Dom, you're going to rat on me. I feel it." And then Dominic started crying, and Vinnie got up and walked out. That moment, Vinnie knew Dominic was going to flip. And, but, and also when he was in the Bronx with Vinnie, everybody, Jackie knows, he's the head of a family right now, but we won't talk about that. But he talks about how, Dominic talks about how he was going to kill him and how Vinnie wanted to kill him. And the problem with that is Jackie knows did not want to whenever he met Dominic, he would never shake his hand. He would pretend he didn't exist. And Jackie knows would be fighting.
Mikey, and that's allegedly. He's allegedly somebody. He's allegedly.
Okay, yeah. Well, Mikey, I'm sorry. Thank you for cutting. Well, Mikey knows would not shake his hand and stuff. And Mikey knows started fighting with Vinnie, saying, "This guy's." There was a rumor on the street that he wore a bad wire when he was with the Genovese family, and they caught the bad wire. And so at that point, that's when it all came back. And nobody had a respect for this guy. Everybody stayed away from him. But Vinnie kept giving them little tests, and he kept passing, like killing people and stuff like that. And Vinnie stuck by him all the way to the end, and it cost him.
And another little thing to that too, Lee, and this is a fact. When Joe Mazzino turned on Vinnie, Vinnie said, this is Vinnie's words, "When Joe Mazzino flipped, I was so mad, like viciously mad. But when Dominic flipped, I was heartbroken." Yes. That's exactly came from him. And then I wrote that in Dominic's first show. If you go in comments, I said Dominic. And I said that. I said, when Joe flipped, he was so mad. But when you flipped, he was heartbroken. And he responded to the comment and said, "I was heartbroken too." Like, in other words, he was heartbroken to do it to him. But it doesn't matter. It is what it is.
And then he talks about owning property, that he was a big property owner with, and he had all this stuff going on with Dominic, and he was involved with the unions and stuff. From what I understand, he only had one piece of property, and it was a house he was building, and he never completed the house. That's the only property he ever had with Vinnie. But on his shows, he'll tell you about all this stuff that him and Vinnie were doing together. But from what I understand, it was one house that he never finished building, and it was a house for him.
I just want to answer Nicky here, because he said, "I guess everyone needs content, so it's good for business." that Dominic has shown up here. Not necessarily, Nikki. You know, the thing is, what's happening is, you know, they're coming out of the woodwork. You had Arilotta, you had Crying Bill Catolo. You've got all these people, you know, coming out. And what happens is they end up going, you know, to the Rat Squad, and then their channel goes to shit. Now, you know, all right, we've got a little bit ahead of the game here, a little bit maybe, to warn.
Yeah, and I would say, can I say something to Nikki real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nikki, nothing personal, but our shows have been around a lot longer before any of these people came in. My show's numbers are always going up, and it has nothing to do. What you got to do is when these guys come in, they tell stories. Now, if you come in and don't tell stories, people will leave you alone. But they come in, you don't see anybody going bashing. You know, we all know that Mikey Scar is a rat, but you don't see people bashing him because he's saying what he is, and he's not inventing stories.
And Lee, he wouldn't answer back, Lee. If somebody talks at him a bad comment, he ain't going to take the time to respond. I mean, come on, he's not going to do it. Maybe he'll do it to Sammy the Bull, but he ain't going to do it to a regular person. You know that. I mean, he ain't going to respond and say crazy, vicious things, which, you know. And another, I wanted to just tell you another funny story, and you can ask Stats.
Before I'm going to finish what I was saying.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. And real deal, you just said Dominic has accomplished what he wanted here. Actually, no, he wanted to come in here and not be noticed. Dominic, when he came in, his first video did 12,000 views right off the bat. So if anything, he's been slowed down since he come in here. Just look at his numbers. You call these guys out when they come in. You don't just let them come in and say whatever they want. John A. Light came in here, and nobody called him out. And for a year, he was building up. And then you had Angel in here fighting with him and telling people what he was about. And then you had more people coming after Angel. You had Jeff Canarsie calling him out. No, we have to call these guys out, because if you don't, they come in here and they act like they're real mobsters. They're not.
And I also heard, Lee, that he testified against John Jr., correct? This guy.
Ask Angel. Yes, I think he did 100%. But ask Angel. She's in the chat.
Oh, okay. Hey, Angel. I didn't see her. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to the chat. Sorry, Angel. So we've got MB and Real Deal. Hey, Real Deal. Hey, MB. MB, Lauren. Yeah.
What's going on?
Hey, Tommy, how you doing today? How you feel?
Good, Lee. How you doing, buddy?
Good, thank you.
Chicky, how you doing?
How you doing, Real Deal? I hope you're feeling okay. Hi, MB.
Thank you.
Hi, MB.
Hey,
Okay,
Chicky.
so
I don't know much about the mafia talk. I just wanted to pop on and say hi. I missed the beginning. I'm going to rewind and go back. And I just wanted to come up and show support. That's all.
Yeah. No, this guy has been going after Lee. Somebody's got something going here. YouTube's running. Is it you, Tommy?
I thought I shut mine off. Yeah, mine's off.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, no, I think it's you, Tommy.
Hello?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, that's better now. Tommy? Can you hear us? Oh,
yeah,
okay. It was MB. All right. So, sorry. Yeah, but, you know, what do you think about it, Tommy? I mean, basically, this guy's come out the gate going after Lee. And what I'm sensing here, my spidey senses are saying, you know, he's going to go and sit up with the Rat Squad and do the same shit everyone else has done. And I think that would be a huge mistake.
Well, first of all, I could care less what this rat does, because I am not, I don't care what he does to destroy himself. I hope he does destroy himself, because to me, rats are all no good. And that's just the way I think. That's my mentality. I'm old school. You know, I was brought up in a different era than all of you folks. And that's just the way I feel. I could care less if he goes on, whose panel he goes on. He's a rat. And you can't believe anything he says. That's my opinion, and I will live and die by that.
Okay.
And the biggest problem is you got guys like Jeff Nadeau that give these rats a push and get them a bunch of subs right off the bat. And
well,
Yeah,
I
well,
always thought that Jeff Nadeau was a little bit above, you know, a little bit above. But no, from what I've seen recently, no, he's obviously part of the Rat Squad, and you know, it starts with him. Then it's going to be Piggy calling him, can you get him on my show? And then next thing you know, there you go. But I think that would be.
I don't think this one's gonna do that.
I think it would be a horrible mistake.
He knows if he goes, he's already talked. First of all, I'm sure Arolado already told him not to. I'll be very surprised if he does that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
all those guys that have done that, it has not worked out good for them.
No, none of them. And the thing is, you know, his thing is called Mafia Round Talk Table or something like that. So why not do a Mafia Round Talk Table? Get Ariel, get people that were actually there, rat or not. You know, if that's how you're going to do you know, you want to tell your stories, swap stories, you know. And you did say something, Lee, that I picked up on. You know, you were saying that tell your stories, but don't bash the people that you've already ratted on. But the problem with that is, Lee, they can't tell their story if they don't talk about who they were connected with. Do you know what I mean? No, it's a double-edged sword.
No, you're absolutely right, Josie. What I mean is, like, if he's going to talk about Vinnie, he should say, okay, I was connected to him. But he shouldn't say, well, good that Vinnie's in jail, or the horrible things. Are the horrible things people say. John Alite, perfect example. The horrible things he says about the Gaudis. It's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Why can't he just say, okay, for 2 years, I was friends with John Gotti Jr. and leave it at that?
Okay.
No, he doesn't do that. He's like, okay, I slept on the couch while John Gotti was making coffee. I mean, you know, shit like that.
Right. Okay.
And he did sleep, get it right, Lee. He did sleep on the couch. He slept in a bunk bed in John Jr.'s room.
Yeah. And the best part about it is he really wasn't friends with John Jr.
Well, I think he was
in a quaint. He was in a.
No,
listen, he was in a quaint.
They were friends for 2 years.
Right.
He was an acquaintance. He was not a friend.
Even Angel says that. They were friends for 2 years.
Hey, Lee, before I pop off, I'm going to go see my grandchildren, but I want to tell you a funny thing. You can ask Stax. Anybody can ask Stax that talks to him. So Stax wrote Vinnie Basciano a letter in Coleman in Florida, right? And I'm not going to mention the name, but the same person that contacted you on that story contacted me the next day. No, not the next day. The day after his father got the letter from Stax. So Stax wanted to, you know, just say, hey, I'm Stax and I do a show, blah, blah, blah. Which Vinnie don't go for that. Vinnie would never call in, never talk. He's not like that. But so Vinnie reached out to somebody and said, anyways, I got a message to call this number. So I call a number and I'm 100% sure it's the same person that talked to you. I'm not going to say who. And they says, Chicky, what's up? I go, hey, what's up? And he goes, word for word, ask Stax. He goes, who's this effing Stax? He goes, I go, oh no, he's a content creator. I go, why? Why would you ask me? And he goes, well, he wrote somebody, and he said he wrote Vinnie, and he said he put your name in the thing. You know, oh, I talked to, and he said Chicky, and Chicky told me this story about you, blah 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 blah. So right away, Vinnie calls up this person and says, no, yeah, you know, ask Chicky, how is he? You know, he's very cordial. And I says, no, because that's Vinnie, how smart Vinnie is. Vinnie's probably thinking, who is this guy writing me? You know, what is he? So I said, no, he's a good kid. He just does a little show and he's not like that. He just likes to reach out. And the guy goes, okay, no problem. I said, no, he's good. And, you know, not that his father, you know, not that anything was going to happen, but the bottom line is he just wanted to know. But that's how sharp Vinnie is. So it was just a little fun fact, you know.
Oh, no, tell us the story before you leave.
Yeah.
Tell us the story about he was calling the Jeffrey Lichtman. Tell us that story.
That's a true story. And I don't know, Lee, you probably know this. Do you know it's in some, I don't know if it's in the father and son documentary. It's somewhere out there. I've seen it. And Jeffrey Lichman, I think he has a podcast. Jeffrey Lichman did or has one or did have one. And he tells a story about he's in the office one day and he gets a secretary, says, this is after Dominic Cicale had flipped. And Jeffrey Lichman's in his office and they get a phone call. And the secretary says, Jeffrey, and Jeffrey Lichman's telling the story. He says, Jeffrey, you have a phone call. Dominic Cicale's on the phone, right? So, of course, he says, I'm not answering it. You know, in other words, I don't know if he had just testified against John Jr. I don't know what this is, but Jeffrey Lichman wasn't answering a phone call from Dominic Cicale. And he says, I'm not answering the call, but it had something to do with rapping back, like, I don't know how many years ago, but in other words, he wanted some kind of manager or get some direction on getting into this rap business. This is a long time ago. So he was into this rap thing for quite some time. It ain't just something new.
Right. Yeah, I just thought, oh my God, you know, I mean, the thing is, and you know, I'm going to be honest about it. To me, I just thought, okay, well, he might be good at putting the rhyme together, but maybe he needs to get somebody else to actually spit it, as they call it now. I don't know.
Listen, but, I know Lee's gonna.
I just thought it was like
Lee's gonna lose content. But please, if this message gets to Dominic Cicale, immediately stop rapping. Don't ever do another rap song. Shut down all your rap videos that you've got to put out there, and just stick to whatever show you're doing. But get away from that rapping. Come on, it's not even normal.
Chicky, serious question.
Yeah.
Why are you giving that rat any advice?
No, you're right. You're right. No, because we're just talking. You're right. There is no advice. I don't either way. But you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying.
I don't give rats advice. The only advice I give them is to drop dead.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just
Tommy's ruthless. Tommy's ruthless. But yeah, I just wondered what it was about because you know, I when I saw it, I thought, is he going after Lee? And then I thought, well,
I like to know what's going. I like to know what's going on right now because Angel said, "I don't think you were talking about me." Angel, I wasn't talking about you at all. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Right now. So
I didn't think you were talking about Lee.
Hey, no. Lee.
No, I have no idea what anybody's talking about right now.
No, that was somebody. Lee, that was somebody in the comments section, and it's getting blown out of proportion. Angel was just didn't like what the guy said, and it turned into whatever.
Right.
Hey, Lee. Now you know what you got to do, don't you? You got to make a dish rap back to Cicale, whatever his name is. You got to do like when Tupac and Biggie used to do it. Now you got to come with another one back to him.
Well, that's what I said. He's got to do like a what do they call it?
There's nothing worse than old white men trying to sing rap. I mean. Even Eminem, he's become an old white man singing rap. It just doesn't look good.
And Chicky, one last question for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you think? Oh God, it just went completely out of my head. What I was going to ask you. Hang on 1 second. I forget now. It'll come to me. I'll say it when I remember.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, listen, I'm gonna pop off. Jones, when you get the question, just text it to me. I wish you the best. Real deal. I hope you feel better, brother.
I'll see you, Chicky.
I'll let you guys go. Thank you for having me. It's nice.
Oh, I know what the question was.
Sorry, timeout. Can't do it.
Oh, Chicky.
Go ahead. I'm fooling.
Real quick. So when he testified against John Jr., did it make a difference? Did his testimony what trial was it? Because he had many trials, right?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Angel or Lee, I have to tell you. I don't know.
Yeah,
does it matter if it made a difference? He still testified against the guy.
I know. I just wondered what happened there because
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that he had done that. All right, well, have fun with the grandkids.
All right, take care, guys. I'll talk to you. All right, thank you for all the chat.
All right, take care, Chick. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think that Angel said he came off like John A. Light, so which means
okay. Yeah.
It really didn't do anything. I'm not sure. I guess you would have to ask Angel that, but I think that's what she said.
Yeah, I will. Next show. Well, if she wants to, if you want to come up, Angel, feel free.
Josie,
I'm gonna drop the
Josie, have you heard from Carmine?
No, I haven't in the last couple of days. Actually,
Me either.
I think he's mad. He was
What?
mad.
And what?
Well, here's the thing. He was mad because he felt that this whole Chris Trock thing was being put on him, and that, you know, it was, you know, his fault. It wasn't. Nobody mentioned him but Chris Trock on that, you know, when he was up there with Becky and whatever. So he was mad at that. And, you know, I really don't know. I texted him. I said, look, you know, at the end of the day, it's not really about that. You know, you should be more concerned with your health. And that's the main thing to concentrate on. You know, this YouTube bullshit doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
It's insignificant when it comes to his health.
Right. So no, I haven't heard anything from him. I thought he would have.
Well,
spoken
I'm
to
going to
you.
call him later. I'm going to call him later.
But you know, nobody's like mad at him. I don't think. I mean, I'm not. I just, you know, said what I said. My main concern was because she had gone at him, not on YouTube, but in private, you know, calling him in the middle of the night and harassing him and calling him names. And he got upset at that, you know, and that's what I didn't want to see happen. And that's all, you know, and that was it. But, you know, I think he thinks that people are blaming him for that whole debacle. But in any event.
Yeah, sometimes Carmen thinks
people take this way too serious.
Yeah.
Way too serious. It's like, and usually 90% of the time it's some trolls writing stuff down and people just taking it for what it is. I mean, believing it, you know, it's.
But nobody, you know, nobody's mad at him or blaming him at all. It wasn't anything to do with him. Like I said, it was about other stuff. You know, other people had things to say about not just that particular stream. It's other streams, you know, and the thing is, I mean, Lee, let me ask you, you know, if you're sitting in, let's say, I don't know, anyone's stream, and they're talking about Angel badly or someone that you're close to badly, are you going to, and you're on panel, are you going to stay there? Are you going to just laugh and go along with it? No,
everybody
you're going to have something to say.
I wouldn't stay there. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons I like doing lives, but one of the reasons I cut back was because I was tired of getting pulled into the crap and it never ending. But one thing I've learned, I have not mentioned this certain guy's name in 2 weeks. And last night he did a whole rant about me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
And
I'm listening to him and I'm like, he's ranting about me. And they're like, dude, I haven't mentioned you in 2 weeks. You know, but people need content, and their only content is attacking people, even when those people ain't attacking them.
Right.
But, you know, so what I'm trying to do is stay away from. I don't consider you an attack channel. I consider you more defending yourself. Angels defends herself.
Right.
But then you got some blatant attack channels that just love to attack people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So no, I didn't look at YouTube last night at all, so I don't know what was on or not.
The better my channel does, the more people cry.
Well, I think your channel's doing very well, and I actually, when I said I didn't look at YouTube, that's a lie. I did look at YouTube. I looked at you and this Dominic Cicale. I looked at his videos back to back, and I looked at yours back to back, just to see what the hell was going on. And then when I realized, you know, what was going on, I texted you. I said, oh, I get it now, because I wasn't sure if he was going after you or not. And I thought, well, why is he going after you? Well, the reason he's going after you is because the Rat Squad are already in his ear, you know, clearly. So, you know.
Well, there's one little guy running around here that is in everybody's ear and starts trouble. I'm not going to mention who he is, but there's one person doing that. And
well, text me who that is, because I don't know who you're talking about.
I gave you a hint. One little guy. That's all I got to say.
Okay. There's so many little guys on here.
No, this guy's the littlest.
He puts a bow on his head and gets a haircut. How's that?
Okay.
Well, this one person that was going after me last night, he always says, If people don't come
Okay.
after me, I don't go after them. It's like, dude, I haven't mentioned you in so long, and for the last 3 days now, you're mentioning me because you're
Right.
looking at my numbers. You see the show's doing good. You know,
Lee,
it
that's
tears
how
them up.
that's how he gets his donations, Lee. He can't if he's not bashing somebody, you know, you or Angel, that's the main targets. Then he goes after Josie. The same old people he goes after. That's how he gets his content, and that's how he gets his donations.
The best thing to do is not to respond because it's not going to
Yeah,
change anything. See, people have to understand that all these shows have a certain group of people that already hate you. So when they're talking about you to this group of people that already hate you, so what? They already hate you.
Right.
They hate me
Right.
already. What else is he going to tell them? You know,
Now,
right.
is this the real Anthony Raimondi, or is it someone playing?
no, that's no. He's been around for a long time, but that's not the real one. That's that's the name he goes
Okay.
by. Anthony
All right.
Raimondi, he's been here for like as long as I've been.
Yeah, I know there's been a couple. Okay. So he's asking me, what were you talking about regarding Angel on the panel? No, I was talking about a person was on a panel and Angel was brought up, and that person was talking badly about her, and the friend of Angel sat there while it was going on, and then it was distorted into timelines and whatever it is, which it really isn't about timelines at all. It's about being in certain chats, being on certain panels when people are talking badly about your friends that you grew up with. Explain that. Don't deflect to timelines, and that's all I'm saying about that. That's for them to deal with. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to shut this down.
And thank you. Let me say, I'll
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
For
And real deal,
enlightening me.
people in the chat. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Oh, tonight Joe's doing on Joe's channel.
Yes, he is a boxing thing, right?
It's going to be on the UFC. It's going to be basically we're going to call the fights. You're not going to be able to see them, but it's going to be like a radio thing. So
Okay.
you don't have to. So people don't have to spend $80 to see the fight. So just so people know.
All right. Yeah, and I want Joe to do one on my homeboy, the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Ben, at some point. I'm trying to get hold of him. He's in Spain at the moment, so he's been hard to get hold of, but I want to get hold of him because he really did do very well over here for a minute, and then he kind of fell off. But anyway, so thank you, Tommy. I hope you're feeling better.
Take care, people.
And
thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right. So
Joseph.
we're going to close this down. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.